Welcome to another WordPress tutorial. Today we are going to look again at the Kadence theme. We are going to do some header and footer customization and add some pages to our WordPress website. So the first thing that we're going to do is in our dashboard, jump into the pages section, and we're going to add a new page called home. So this is going to be our home page. And then we'll just click publish. We won't have any content on here as of yet, but we'll add some content in a later video. The next thing we're going to do is go to appearance and then click on customize. Now we are in the Kadence customizer, and as you'll see, we've got our header over here and then we've got a footer section at the bottom. So the first thing that we want to do is add our logo to the top of the header. So how we'll do that is just go to header on the left here, and then we'll click on logo, and then from logo we just say select logo, and then I've already loaded my logo over here, so I'll select it and click on the select button. We're going to skip cropping. You can crop it if you do need to, and there we go, our logo is there, but we've still got this title or tagline that WordPress has pre-installed. So let's remove that. We just go logo layout and then we click logo only. Now if we want to change the size of our logo, we just scroll up and down over here. So let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's say about 250. That looks good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is just click publish. That will update our changes. Then we've got over here our navigation bar. So normally you have all your pages listed on the top here, and we'll want to change that and make it easier for the user to find the relevant pages that they need. So let's jump back into our dashboard, and we're going to just add another couple of pages. Typically a website would have a contact us page, so let's add that one. Again, all the content for these pages we'll be adding later, so just add your page and click publish. And then we will also have an about page, so add new, name your page, and then again click on publish, and then again publish, and there we go. So now we should have home, about us, and the contact us page. So we'll go back to appearance. We'll click on customize, and then again back to our header section, and we'll go primary navigation. So you'll see at the bottom here we've got these little 3 tabs. So the header section is split up into 3 sections. You can customize each of these sections, but typically you'll only use 1 or 2 of them. So the main row already has our logo. If we didn't have it in there, all that we needed to do is just drag it from the left here and drag it into the section where we want it. The same goes for our primary navigation. If it wasn't there on yours, you can just drag it from the side here and pop it in on the right there. Then you can click on this little settings gear, and that will have all the menus settings. So you'll see when we hover over the item on the menu, it turns blue. We can change that color by going to design, and then you'll see here navigation colors. You've got the initial, hover, and active color. So if we wanted to change this color, all we had to do is just change it in over here. Alright, we're heading back to general, and then we'll go select menu. So we want this as our main menu. Normally WordPress has this as a default, but you could create a new menu if there was no menu. So we'll select the main menu and then go edit, and then here we've got our sample page, but we wanted to show our home, about, and contact pages. So we'll go click the little drop down arrow on sample and then click on remove. Then we're going to click on add items, and then simply just click this little plus key next to the items that we want. And then we'll click on publish again. And now you'll see our header is basically complete. We've got our logo, we've got our page, and they link to those relevant pages. Now when we scroll down on the page, you'll see that the header actually goes away. Now there is an option again in the header section over here, and you'll see it at the bottom called sticky header. Now you'll see here an option that says enable, and we can enable it for these various rows. So we only want the main row, that is where all our content is. So we'll say yes, enable for main row only, and then you'll see when we scroll down, our header stays in place. So you can play around with this a little bit and see what works best for your layout, but you can also shrink your logo when you scroll down. So if your header is a bit big and you want your logo to show big when the person first enters the page, you can leave it like that, and then when they scroll down, enable the main row shrinking, and then we can say we want that height to be bigger or smaller. Now you can also choose a different logo for the shrunken header. So if you want to do that, you'll see now when we scroll down, our header is a different image. Now again, to change this image, you'll just go change and then select the image that you want if you've already uploaded it, or go to upload and simply drag and drop your image in there. Alright, so I think that looks good. We'll remove this for now. That looks great. And then the next thing that we're going to do is our footer section. So you'll see in here we've already set up some stuff, but we're going to go through exactly to do that. So on the left, you'll select footer, and then the same as the header, we've got these little tabs, 3 rows where we can customize each of them, and then all we need to do is just drag and drop from the left here into there. So one that you'll definitely want is your copyright. So that gives you your copyright, the year, and your site's name. So if you want to go and change that, normally you'll have the theme credit in here as well. That is up to you if you want to display a theme credit to the Kadence theme, which is absolutely a fantastic theme. If you want to remove that, you simply select the text and remove it. So it will by default, whatever site title you set up when you installed WordPress, it will use that, but you can also take this away and then just type in whatever you want it to say. Alright, and then again here we've got all those other options, alignment and so on, and then we can also change what font this would be displayed as and what color. So you'll see a link color is white on the initial, and then on hover it will turn blue. Okay, so we can change our font over here and the font color. So let's change this and make it Arial black, and you'll see it will change over there. Alright, we're going to go back and then again back, going to footer again, and then we can see what else we can add. So under the general tab, you'll again have all these items that you'll be able to add. So the social would be all your social icons, and now you'll see all the social icons that we've added. You can customize them by clicking on this little gear and then either add new icons or you can remove the current ones. So again, these social links you would have set up in your customizer at the general section, and you'll see social links over here. So if you have your Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you'll put in all the details, all the link details in there, and then when we add it into the footer or into our header if we wanted to, we would be able then to automatically have those links appear based on whatever social media we selected. Okay, so I think that's pretty much that for social media. Then what we want to do is maybe change the size of these icons. So again, on the gear over here, and then design, and then you've got your icon sizes. You can make them as big as you want or as small as you want. It's a little bit easier to select pixels. If everything that you work with is in pixels, it makes your job a little bit easier. So let's make it about 18. That's a good size. Or maybe about 17 there. And then again, we can change what color it changes to when we hover over that icon. So you'll see everything on this theme is set to the blue accent color. Okay, what else can we add? So we can add navigation. So if we wanted to add a footer navigation, and again the same thing, we'll just go to the gear icon and then you can select whichever menu. You can create a new menu or you can use that existing same main menu. So all we do is go under footer here and then we're going to select the same main menu. If you wanted to create a new one, you can do that through the customizer or you can do that in your WordPress dashboard as well. Alright, so let's see here, and we're going to align it to the left. That looks quite good. You can also stretch it, which will make it take that full block of space. Again, design, we can change things like spacing and padding on top and bottom. You can change all those things. The best is really to just play around and see what actually works for you and what your site is going to work best with. Alright, so then in the footer we can add widgets. So a widget can be anything from an image, or it can be a menu, it can be anything. Normally whatever plugins you have, they have their own little widgets, and WordPress by default will also give you some widgets. So for this example, let's take an image widget and then simply click on the add image, and we are going to select one of our preloaded images, this little icon for our logo, and we're going to put it in there. So that is a little bit too big. We'll have to change that around a little bit, and then also we want to have it in the center rather. So how do we do that? We just go over here, put it to the center, and then we can go and edit it here and just change that size to 150. Great. I think that looks good for what we want to do, and that's pretty much our header and footer. Like I mentioned, on the header you will typically have your logo, and then you'll have your main navigation menu. If you have an online store, you might want this bottom menu to be a little bit different. So you might want it to be a menu specifically to WooCommerce or your online store, or you might want it to be your privacy policy and your terms and conditions. Okay, so I think that's it for our header and our footer. You can customize this to your heart's content, just depending on whatever your need is. Like I said, you can really change almost anything with the Kadence theme, and it's also simple to change, and it all works pretty much the same way. You can customize your fonts and all of these things, and it's pretty much everything works the same way. It's all got colors, hover colors, active colors. It's got all sizes, and everything is in your design menu in that perspective, and then your general would be where you actually set up that part of the theme. So I think this looks good for our header and footer. Now let's have a quick look what else we can do in Kadence. Now you'll see this page over here is our blog post page or our archive page. We have not changed that yet. So if we go to home page settings, we can then change this over here to a static page. And obviously our home page, we will want to be our home page. There we go. So that's our home page over there. And then our post page, let's just make this our sample. So your post page would be your main blog page. Go ahead and publish over there, and then what we're going to do is go to page layout. We're going to click on the home page again, and then you've got options here for this specific page or your general page layout. You can select here if you want the title to be shown, so simply toggle that on or off. Typically I'll have this as off. don't really use that. Then you've got your default page layout, so it's good to keep this on normal, unless it is maybe a blog type page or a shop page where you'd want a sidebar. A sidebar is just a little column on the side that you can also put a number of widgets into. And that would normally be for navigation or for finding things a little bit easier for your customers or your visitors. Then we've got content style. So when you look at this little box here, this is where our text or images or whatever would go into, and at the moment it is set as boxed. That's why we've got this bit of a different color over here. So for a home page, typically I'd want to set it as unboxed, and now you'll see our content will be the full width of the page. Then we can also select whether we want padding, so that is a space at the top and at the bottom of our content on each page. You can enable this and see how it looks and then change it if you really want to. Featured image, we'll normally only use that for a blog page, and then comments as well. We don't want comments on our home page. We can also design over here, and we've got settings again, color, what the site background color needs to be. We can change all these things over here. So that one is our content background, and let's make this one dark, and we'll make our site background dark as well. Now if you have a very dark background, just make sure that you change your link colors, so your initial link colors, to a light color. That will be specific to whatever you're setting up, as example the footer or the header or your content. And then also you'll have to go into general and then just change your typography over here, and then our colors, we want it to be light colors. So let's make this white, and you'll see this H1 to H4, 5, 6. These are all your different headings. So if you are in the default WordPress text editor, you'll be able to select these headings, and that will allow them to automatically use these presets. So they can all be different fonts, different colors, and so on. Okay, let's go and publish. Alright, and then we're going to look at our blog posts. So when we select blog post over here, we've got a single post layout and then an archive layout. So we'll have to obviously be on the correct page over here, and we set our sample page to our blog page. So we'll need to add that in our menu in order to access it. So again, to your header, primary navigation, select your menu, edit the menu, and then all we're going to do is just add the sample page. And then you'll see here we can change the label of it, and we'll just call this one blog, and then we'll just pull it and make that our second option over there. So now we've got on the top here home, blog, about us, contact us, and we can go ahead and publish. And then we're going to go back and again to our blog post over here, and then we're going to click on blog, and now we can go to the archive layout. And then again, as per the page layout, so remember your page layout is for your normal pages, and then your archive layout will be for your blog's main page. So again, we've got the same options. Do we want the title to show, yes or no? Normally set that to off, and then we can also hide things like the title, so that would be your title of your blog. Do we want the breadcrumbs? Do we want description? Now the best would be for you to play around with this and see what works best for you and what looks the best. Again, here we've got our layout, so I mean you can play around with these. On the blog you'll want probably a sidebar. So as I mentioned, this is more for on a blog navigation purposes, so that we can actually navigate through our site and find the post that the person really wants to find. So again, if we enable this title, we'll have our page. Now this is your page name, not the label name that we set in the menu, so we'll have to change that to blog in the page as well. And then if we change now this little breadcrumb icon, you'll see this content will disappear. Okay, so I think that looks good. We'll just change this to blog, and then we've got our blog here, and we've got a sidebar that has everything that the person needs to navigate through. And then again, we've got this option, do we want the content boxed or unboxed? So let's click boxed and see what that looks like. And it is just a matter of playing around a little bit and seeing what looks the best for you. We can also set the amount of columns, so I think about 2 columns is good if you've got a sidebar. And then this is your post elements, so if we want the feature image to show or not, we can disable that over there. Then the categories, these posts are in the business category, so we can enable or disable that over there. And then we've got things like the meta description and the normally little read more button. So let's go into our design tab over here, and we'll see the title colors is different from what we set in the customizer. So let's go ahead and set our background to black over here. And then our content background to black as well. And then our site background to black as well. And then let's see our title. Okay, so we'll see here we changed to black, but it's still white. That's why this overlay color is white. So if we set that to black as well, now you'll see our whole entire page is black. So let's make our title color white. And then our archive title background, that's fine. And then we want all our fonts to be white as well. Categories we want white, and then we'll want a hover color maybe as the blue. So when we hover over it, it will be blue. And then you can do the same again for your meta if you want that, and you'll read more over there. So let's just have a look at why our sample page name over here is blue. So we set our title color to white, which is correct. Description colors, we'll make that white, and then blue for hover. Breadcrumb colors we'll make white as well. Title background, and then let's take away this overlay, and we'll keep that as that. Alright. Okay, I think that looks quite good, but we'll need to also change the color of the text of our sidebar over here. So where we would want to do that is in our customizer and general settings, and then you'll see there's an option here for sidebar, and again same thing, we can set the width, we can change the spacing between the widgets, and then we can make it sticky, like the sticky header that is always there when we scroll. You can do the same for the sidebar. So if you look now, when you scroll, it stays in place, which is quite cool. Makes it easy to navigate through your site. And then here under design, our titles, will make that white, and then our content will make white, and then you'll see this is still a different color, and that's because that is a link. That is the link to that post. So let's change the color to white, and then the hover color will make a bit different. So when we put our mouse over this, it will then turn blue. And then we can again change our sidebar background if we wanted this a different background to our actual site, but keep that all as black over there. You can add a divider, and then you can customize the spacing. So if you want it a little bit closer or a little bit further to your content, you can do that over there. So click on publish, And I think that's pretty much that for our archive page. So let's click on one of our blog posts, and then what we'll do is go back again to our customizer and we'll click on blog posts and single page layout. Now we have exactly the same options here as well. Do you want the post title to be shown? So yes, I think this looks quite nice. And then we've got an option here. Do you want it in the content or do you want it above the content? So I think this looks nice with that little featured image. That looks cool. So we can also change the alignment, the minimum height of this little container over here, and then what information we want to show. So I don't want to show the meta info. Just click on the little I and it is gone. And I think category is fine. We can leave that over there. And then again, we've got here, do we want it a normal layout? Do we want narrow, or do we want it full width? So you'll see here we cannot see any of the text or links because we changed all the colors. We need to make sure everything does match. Again, if you've got a light font, you'll want a dark background. If you've got a dark font, you'll want a light background. So let's go ahead and change this to normal. Alright, and then we've got our sidebar, that's fine. Our content is not boxed, that's fine. We've got our padding, we've got our tags, and then we can set if we want related posts here at the bottom and how many we would want. Alright, so let's first go to our design page so that we can get our text and everything to appear. So again, here we've got our title font, and we should be able to change this over here. And then we can change our category again, the active color, and then our initial color and hover. And then we've got over here our meta colors. So let's make this white. And then if we hover, we want a different color. Same with the excerpts, white, and then blue over there. And then the post title background, which is this, you don't really have to change because we have got the picture over there. So let's make it black and see what happens then. Okay, so let's change it to white, and then we'll just remove, we'll make it transparent over there. And then we've got our background as the picture, and then we've got an overlay over here. So if we do want an overlay, we can set that over there. So let's make that a bit darker, and then over here on the slider we can adjust the opacity, and then let's change our title color to white now and see what happens. Okay, I think that looks good. And then here we've got our content background, so let's make that dark again, and now you'll see we can see all our text. So you probably want to do this first so that you can see all your text before you start making changes. So make sure that all your backgrounds, if they're dark, all your text white, and then all your, if your text is dark, all your backgrounds then white. Here we've got related post section, so that will be this over here. What do we want that background? So we want to go with that black theme. That looks quite cool. And then we've also got, what do we want the title color to be? So we're going to make that white over there. And then we've got the similar posts. Alright, so one more thing that I want to change is, I think this is a button over here. So let's see if we can change that. So breadcrumbs, let's make this white as well. I think the key thing is you need to change everything, because if you don't, WordPress and Kadence will select the defaults. So if you set the default somewhere else, you probably won't see the change, or the change won't look the way you wanted it to. Alright, so now the changes is affected. I'm not sure why that happened over there, but I mean that's what we wanted it to look like. And then now we can also change whether we wanted this content boxed or not, and I'll show you quickly just what it does look like when you do that. So content boxed, and you'll see now it looks like there's a little box and there's a background to the content. So obviously whatever style you want to go with, you'll have to play around and see what works for you and what doesn't. So let's see here, we've got this little, I believe this is one of the tags of the post. So let's see if that is a button. Let's quickly have a look. So we go back to general and we go to buttons, and then you'll see here our text color. Okay, that is white, so I don't think that's one of our buttons. Anyway, we'll see if we can find that setting and then let you know about that. But this should be some kind of default that we've set somewhere, and typically it would be something like a button. But these are definitely tags, so if we see anything with a tag, then that should probably be it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I can't change this, I'm just going to remove that, and it's simply by clicking this button. And the same goes for all these other options. Do you want this navigation? Yeah, I guess we can leave that. And do we want to show the related post? Yeah, we can leave that as well. That looks good. Comments over here, and then we've got the comment date if somebody posted a comment, so that's fine over there. So let's go ahead and publish. Alright, so what else can we do in Kadence? So we've done our menus, we've done our site identity, which is again your logo and your title, and then your site icon. So your site icon will display in the little tab in your browser, whichever browser you're using. So let's set that up. So that's basically what it will look like there. Again, change this to your heart's content, whatever's going to fit with the style that you're going with. And I think that looks good. The blue is our theme color, so that button is fine. But if we wanted to customize this button, that's where we would go to general and then button, and then here we've got background. So if we wanted to make this transparent, and then we can set the color to blue, and then we do a little border. So let's make a border over there, and then here we'll select a solid border, and then we'll make it 2 pixels, and it's got a border radius of 5. So now we've got a nice little button there, and it is transparent. So when we want to change what it looks like when we hover over it, that's what you'll do over here. So we want it to be, I think, the same but with our accent color. So let's do that over there. This is again going to be transparent, the background, and then our border color as well, the accent color. So let's see what that looks like now. That looks pretty cool. Just make sure that your visitor can see when they hover over that there is some kind of action that will happen when they click that button. Alright, let's see what else there is in the Kadence theme. So we can set additional CSS, that's if you know about cascading style sheets and know how to change them. The homepage settings was where we set our homepage and our blog page. So that's all done. And then under widgets, it depends on the area. So if we go to footer, that will be the little pencil icons to actually access those widgets. Our menus, again, that's your menu, your main menu. You can set the footer menu, primary, second navigation, and so on, as many as you want. And then they can also go into the widgets as well. Our site identity we've done. Search results, again, when we search something, if we've got a search bar on our example archive blog page, we can then go and customize that page over here. And then we've got our blog post, we've gone through that, we've done our page layout, header, footer, and then under general, in our previous video we went through all these different settings. So let's go ahead and just change that blog page's name from sample to blog. So what we'll do is press the little X to exit out of our customizer. We'll go to pages and then we'll click on edit under the sample page, and then all we need to do here is just change the name to blog, and then also we would want our permalink to be blog as well. Now, one important thing when you first set up WordPress, you have to change your permalinks, and I would recommend to change that to the post name. So whatever that page or content name is, that's what the page name would appear as under your website / and that is your permalink over there. So to change that, you'll go to settings and then you'll go to permalinks, and by default it would be something like this, day and name, and you definitely want everything to be as post name, and do this from the start. It's just gonna save you a ton of headache having all your links changed later on. So make sure when you first customize WordPress, one of the first things that you do is do the post name permalink. Let's go back to our pages, and then we're quickly going to go to our home page and do a quick customization here. So let's go edit, and then our home page with the blocks editor, we can just go / and let's put in an image here, and I want some kind of big banner image. So let's go to our media library, and then let's see which image here is nice and wide. So I think this one is good. Let's select it, and there we go. There's a nice big image, but we can also set the styling of it on the left hand side here. So let's see here, we've got default, that's fine. And then our image settings, we want a full size, and then we want it at 100%. And I think that's all the settings we can change. Then if we click on here, we can now change some settings in here as well. So let's see what we've got. We can change, we can add text to it. So let's add a text here and say welcome to our website, and then we should be able to center this over here. So just go align to center, and remember when I spoke about the different headings, if you click this little reverse P, this is your paragraph, so that's your default paragraph, but now we can go and make it a heading. So let's make it a heading, and we'll make it an H2, and then again change your alignment to center, and that I think looks pretty good. So let's have a quick look and see what that looks like on our front end now, after we've done all these customizations in Kadence. So click on the little WordPress icon, and then under your title here, just click on visit site. That will take us to our site. So that looks pretty cool as a quick little website. Now we can add as much or as little content to that as we want. One of our next videos will be using the Elementor page builder, so definitely subscribe so that you can see that as well. With Elementor we can have a little bit more customization options with the actual things that we do put into our pages. So Kadence is fantastic to get all our navigation and our basic header and footer, the things basically that every page consists of. That is what Kadence does. And then the things that actually go into the page, we'll do it in the next video with Elementor. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you had some value out of this video and learned something. Please subscribe to our channel, as we'll be doing more videos like this. Thank you and take care.